once you have cancer, once you have these things, then you're willing to go like the holistic route where it's like, why don't we like work preventatively? Like, let's get our, like, people are worried about like their diet and their nutrition, but a lot of times water is the last thing that they look at.
We're recording audio. Video's being recorded. Hopefully nobody from a loan department tries to contact me saying that I got approved even though I never applied.
Right.
But this is the Paso Robles podcast studio. This is take 2 of hopefully the last take of today's episode. I have Jennifer Hale, aka Jennifer Hale 2.0.
You got it
right this time.
Yeah,
and she was we were going.
I know.
We were talking water. We were flowing.
Like water.
Yeah, water. But I guess just so people know who you are and what you do, let them know one more time.
Yeah, so I'm Jennifer Hale. I was born and raised in Atascadero, California. I then went to Cal Poly, majored in psychology, and then I moved to San Diego, continued my education on and there, and got my degree in occupational therapy. And then I moved back home for family, and I worked in skilled nursing facilities, practicing as an occupational therapy assistant. And so I did that for about 4 years. I loved the work, but it was really emotionally taxing. I didn't totally agree with everything in mainstream healthcare, and we'll get to that. And I underwent a lot of trauma in my life. In 2020, I unfortunately lost my mother to cancer. And in 2021, January, so like 4 months after, I lost my brother to fentanyl poisoning. And so this sent me into a deep, dark, depressive road, and I was using alcohol to really cope and mask all the grief and the feelings that I was having. So that went on for about 1.5 years, and then I had like my God moment where I was drinking a bottle of vodka in my room by myself. And I'm like, what am I doing? It was my brother's death day. And I remember it so vividly. Like, I'm like, my mom died of poison, cancer, right? Poison in her body. My brother of poisoning. He took a pill. It was laced with fentanyl. Like, he thought he was taking something else. And then I'm sitting here poisoning myself with alcohol. And I was 30 pounds, like, lighter than I am now. I was really, really sick. And I got help. I went to rehab. And after rehab, after 32 days of inpatient, I did 4 months of intensive outpatient, and I was really sick still. Like, I got out and I was seeking help for my autoimmune issues that like came about. And I found the water through my friend who had been doing it for about 10 years. And I called her like, hey, what's this water about? Like, all these testimonials of people healing their bodies naturally with this water, because I was on a ton of pharmaceuticals. I'm now pharmaceutical free too. And so I got on the water, and 2 months later, I go to see all my specialists, and my blood work is normalized. Everything's like looking really good compared to what I was at. And I was like, okay, there's something to this water. Like, then I started doing the research, dived into the business. I was looking for a new way to make money, and it kind of all just started to fit. And now I'm 2 years in, and I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you again
You're
for
welcome.
doing that. And I like that you made the unfortunate connection that you were poisoning your body. There you were poisoning your body, doing it to yourself. And I remember, fortunately, I haven't done certain things that make me like think that I was too far down the road kind of thing to where I had to hit the,
Like
what felt bottom. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember there was a few times where I was under 21. And I remember getting frustrated. I was at home. My mom was there, and none of my friends were picking up. And, I was out going every weekend, and my mom was like, calm down. It's okay. And I'm like, I want to get out of that house. I didn't want to be there. And then I started thinking like, why? And there was definitely alcohol that was making me feel like, frustrated at home, and this is how to have a good time. And now that, I met my wife and everything like that, like the world is different. There's, you don't need, we go somewhere and you want a beer? No, I'm driving home. Like I just don't even think about it anymore, and being in Paso, there's a lot of wine, there's a lot of beer. And it's like, so it's kind of cool that you're in this world, in this world of opportunity where you can help people get past certain hurdles that they didn't think they can get past.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a big part of me now is like sobriety. So it's a part of my brand. It's a part of like who I want to kind of help with this water because it's transformed my life. And like when you think about it, I was using alcohol to cope and now it's like a habitual hand to mouth thing. And now I have this amazing hydrogen rich medical grade water.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, changing one habit for another. And now I'm super hydrated.
So you're addicted to the healthy part. If you're going to be addicted to something, be addicted to something
might
that's
as well
working.
be in medical water.
Yeah. So there was a lot of things we talked about in the first one, which I'm going to try to touch base on it so people can gain some value here. When you go to hotels, this machine that looks like a Keurig, and you said it's a little bit bigger than a Keurig, you can take it to places.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we were talking about a little bit more is the opportunities you have to expose that opportunity for everybody else to either taste it or get on board.
Yeah. So I think maybe we can touch on like what it actually is.
Yeah.
Like what am I talking about?
Yeah.
'Cause I think
this big machine that you can.
Yeah. So it's a medical grade water ionizer. So it's a system that I'm a distributor for a company and help people get these systems in their lives. So the system can sit on your counter. It's a little bit bigger than a Keurig. It hooks straight to your faucet. And so it takes the water from your faucet, right? It goes through this machine. There's 8 titanium platinum plates in there, and it's ionizing the water. So there's a ton of science, right? This company has been around for 50 years. It's medically grade certified and it's an original equipment manufacturer. So the only water ionizer that has these certifications were like the original water ionizer. So I just like to make that clear.
Okay.
But anyway, so it hooks to your faucet and then you get hydrogen rich water into your drinking glass. And so the machine also, we didn't touch on this before, but it does some other things too, not just drinking water.
When I was looking at the demo, it said 7 different waters. And I'm like, what do you mean 7 different waters?
Yeah, you're like, isn't water just water?
Yeah.
Like that is that's how people think. And that's what I thought before I was exposed and educated myself on what this actually is. So during this process, it's like separating the water molecule. And so into 2 spouts, like comes off of the machine for your drinking water. And then there's an acidic hose for the acidic water. So it's separating based on the positive or negative charge of the actual, mineral. Okay, so like the chlorides and things can like go down the sink, down this other hose. And then you get your calcium, magnesium, potassium, and your drinking glass. And so these other waters, it's like a touch screen, and there's 6.0, which I brought you like a little spray bottle. So that's on the pH scale. So the buttons are based on the pH scale, which is 0 to 14. 7 is neutral. 6.0 is actually the same pH as our skin and our hair. So you can give it to your wife or you can use it too. It'll make you beautiful. But it's really hydrating for your skin. You can use it as a toner. There's also a 2.5 on the pH scale. Okay, so super acidic. That is hypochlorous acid. So this is a non-toxic cleaner. So you can actually kill 99.9% of bacteria with this water. So,
so is it sanitizing or?
Yes, it's killing bacteria.
Okay.
So there's a lot of research on this too. Like we have a whole graph, hypochlorous acid, like dentist office use it and sell it for like $40 for a bottle of it, and you get unlimited for it. So as you were talking about your teeth earlier, I meant to mention this. You can swish it around in there and it kills bacteria. Like it might actually help your situation. I should have brought you 2.5.
I mean, you didn't know, so.
I didn't know.
But we've been talking about my teeth. We've been oil pooling. So we would get I want to say today we did coconut oil. So
Okay.
you just get a little bit of coconut
Yeah.
oil and you just kind of swish it around slowly.
Yeah.
She said I should be doing it longer, but no, I'm
Yeah.
a man and I'm stubborn and eventually I grow into it. But it's supposed to pull a lot of the stuff out with the
Yeah.
oil, and then I brush my teeth after that. But I've noticed a big difference because when I first showed her, I was messing around with my tooth after we ate, and it felt like something sharp, and I guess a piece of my tooth
Like broke
fell
off.
off, which created this like kind of like a canyon in there. You can see the buildup of bad stuff, and she's like, "I think you have plaque," and I'm just like.
Yeah,
This is the
like
first
that's
time
what's
ever.
sharp too.
Yeah. So, and since then we've been working on and you can't rebuild your tooth, but it can at least, smooth over with help.
Okay.
Right. So that's what we've been doing. We're just kind of like,
So you're doing like a holistic
Yeah.
route there.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
it. I told you I need to meet your wife.
yeah, yeah. I want to plan something, but the fact that you said holistic again, just so the audience knows what
Yeah.
is holistic.
Yeah.
The whole phrase?
Holistic health.
Holistic
Yeah.
health,
So it's like the whole person. Like in our society in America, it's really like sick care is like what I've experienced is,
Yeah.
you you get sick, you take a pill, it's putting a Band-Aid on the problem. You're not really getting to the root cause of things. Like, okay, like why are you so tired? What's going on in your digestive system? Like why? Not just like taking a pill for it.
Yeah.
And so with these waters, it's like healing the whole person, like physically, mentally, and then with our business aspect, like financially. So it's the holistic, the whole person. That
Yeah.
makes
So
sense.
so when you say financially, money's not just going to appear. You're talking like it's more giving you clear path of what you need to do to improve, right?
Yeah.
Not it's nothing foggy because of the coffee you drink or the pills you're on. Anything mind numbing or altering. You're getting a clearer path.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like with this business, so I've been in this business for almost 2 years, like personal development is huge, also with sobriety and really having the mindset of like I can do anything and I can like now that I'm like healing myself with this water and financially like the sky is the limit in this business, and so it's really just shifted my whole world instead of like getting trading your time for money.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not a regular job. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it is a lifestyle. Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
You carry around the blue bottle that looks beautiful. That's your way of marketing it out to the world. Just out of curiosity, just out of my curiosity, like what's the funnest way somebody has gone and actually from beginning to end, they saw the bottle and now they're either a participant or a customer or a distributor themselves. Do you have any stories like that?
Maybe not specifically for the bottle, but the bottle is a great like segue. It's branding. It's like people always ask about it. And actually, another distributor created this business. It's called Blue Bottle Love, and they donate a percentage of the proceeds to fight the pollution in the ocean. And so, like we were talking about with like lifestyle, it's like changing to glass instead of using plastic for things. Like it's really, and like I share, like I brought you a gallon of the 8.5,
I'm taking a picture and
by the
posting
way.
it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sharing in glass because it really is like a lifestyle shift. And so I don't have a story per se because of the bottle that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm trying to think. Okay, so like the home show, I did the Paso Robles home show last year. I think it was last March at the fairgrounds.
I've never been to a home show. So no, I'm not familiar.
So it's like a home and garden show. So people set up like vendor like booths, and like promote your businesses that way. So I was there. It was actually, I just looked at pictures. It was March 17th of last year because that's St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
And like my other St. Patrick's Day, I had been very drunk, until these last couple ones. So I was there. And I met Santos Brothers Plumbing. He was there with his truck, with his company. Do you know them at all?
Dave has also tried to get me to talk to him.
Oh,
So
okay.
Dave's going to be my middle person right now.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. So anyways, he was there with his truck. He comes over. I start telling him about the water. He's like really jumped into podcasts like the Joe Rogan Experience and like all these things and like and holistic health and all the microplastics and sick care, and we're just like flowing. And he's like, well, I have a plumbing business and you have this water business, like this will like let's partner up, you know. And so that was like a seamless thing. Like he bought a system, he started drinking the water. He's on my team now. So like that's kind of how the business aspect works for it. Is like now I've kind of trained him, educated him as much as I can. You know, he's done his own, and then he's helping his clients, his plumbing clients, get this into their homes as well. So
I'm curious to ask him, how does he start that conversation or introduce? It's like, yeah, it looks like you got a leak under this sink here, but how's your water quality going?
well, I do have an example of somebody because they were drinking out of a plastic bottle, right?
From the tap?
No, like a store-bought plastic water, but like a big one. And he's like, "Oh, it looks like you're really into like your water. Like, what kind of water is that?" And he's like, "Well, it's like Colian or like whatever." It's like, okay, well, you know, we could probably do better than that. And then I got his number, and now he's also on the team and drinking this water, and shared it with his mom and his grandpa who's really sick. And so that's kind of how it goes. And it's like, that's what I'm doing this for too, is to serve others. Like I want to help people with this water. There's testimonial after testimonial on all kinds of things. Any inflammation that's happening in your body, this water can probably help with. We can't make any medical claims, right? And like you get sued and stuff. But yeah, I want to help people with the water.
Do you find yourself and I mentioned this earlier, do you find yourself looking at people and like, oh, this person needs water? Like, can you tell by their skin? Like, what are you looking for when people are like, when you're like, oh, this person deserves a little information right now?
Yeah, I mean, just with sales, you gotta find the right time and the right in kind of thing. But it's not like always like right when I meet you, I'm just automatically thinking that. But it's in there in my subconscious, you know. But you can kind of tell. Some people have their guard up so high when it comes to salespeople. You know, they've been scarred in the past, and like you can tell that person too.
Well, yeah, I was telling Dave, which Dave Rosales is the one who told you to come on the podcast. He's in previous episodes. Yeah, I was telling him like I've done, because he does Affleck and he also recruits, and you're doing this and you kind of sort of recruit in a way. And I'm like, oh, I told him straight up, I was like, I've done the MLM, the multi-level of marketing, whatever. And like, I love the product, but every time I ask about the product, they're like, no, you know what? We can do that later. But if you get 3 people under you, and I'm just like, I was in that world, you know, a couple times, unfortunately. Yeah. So as we're talking about this, like the product is good, and we'll do a little taste test right now. The product is good. But yeah, you're right. People do have a guard up. So I guess, how do you maneuver through that? You know, timing is everything. And I even mentioned a couple of things like, do you ever give a glass of water to the hotel manager? Because you never know when the hotel manager's like, you know what, let's try to get these in every single room, or at least the suites or something. Yeah.
I mean, it depends person to person. I think like the better that I can get at my job, like I feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing, like my purpose, the better I can get at sales, the more people I can help. So, I mean, I'm part of this team of distributors, and we are part of a collective team that has training calls every week. That we have in-person events, and like it's just I'm constantly learning, like how can I serve, right? Like how can I help people break through these barriers? Like people do have a guard up with sales. Nobody wants to be sold anything, and like I get it because I'm human as well. Yeah. And just like you said, like you have some past experiences with MLM. We are different in regards to MLM because our business plan is patented. I still can't say the word patented. Patented?
I'm just gonna like AI introduce like a voice, you know?
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know if I can do
But
that.
it's a direct to consumer model, and then you have the option of joining the business when you buy a system. You absolutely do not have to. When you do buy the system, it can be a tax write-off. Like if you go for this as a business, you can write it off on your taxes. And you get access to our whole team and our resources to help you train in the business aspect of it. So there's like two options, like essentially. Well, really three.
Yeah. So when you it took you say a couple months, is that what you said?
For the water
For
to
you to
actually like so when I got out of rehab and I was really sick, and then I seeked out like my friend and said, what's this water about? Got on the water. 2 months later, I was seeing 6 different specialists. Actually, I went and got blood work done, and they're like, we don't even classify you as you having this autoimmune issue because your blood work looks really good.
Okay.
And I got actually in my car and I was like in tears, and like I posted it. I was like, I cannot believe this. And like this water, I mean, obviously it was a whole lifestyle change like we've talked about. Like I was sober now, taking better care of my body, but also the water aids your body in healing. So it brings it back to homeostasis. And I saw it firsthand, and I feel it every day. Like when I don't have my water, like I just went to Hawaii and I couldn't bring like I couldn't bring the water, and I felt a difference, like for sure. Like I started feeling the symptoms of autoimmune stuff, like achy joints, like headache, like coming back. And I'm like, I need my medicine because I really treat it like medicine.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned a percentage of people who drink people who drink bottled water. Only 10% is being absorbed, and the rest of it stays in your body. 10 to
15%, of the bottled water that you're going to buy at the store is actually being absorbed, to where compared to Kangen water, it's like 85 to 90%. So it's helping you get the hydration that you need. Because molecular hydrogen, I can get into the little science. I don't know if I want to bore you too much.
Oh, no, go for it.
Molecular hydrogen is the smallest antioxidant on the planet. And so it can cross the blood-brain barrier of your cells. And so with other water, right, there is an aquaporin is how the water gets through into your cells, is through this special channel. So you can imagine like a key and a lock, okay? And then with our water, it can go anywhere on the cell. Like it goes in wherever because it's bind with molecular hydrogen, which is H2. And so it's really good at combating inflammation and healing your body. Yeah.
That wasn't too bad.
Okay, because I could keep going, Yeah. I will say that there is research. I know we talked in the first clip or first take.
Google. So if somebody went online right now and be like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna stop listening. I'm gonna go Google it. I want to see if she's like full of it or not.
Yeah. For sure.
What do you like? What phrase or what word would you tell them to Google? And just let it go from there.
Yeah, so don't go to just Google, first of
Bing.
all. Not Bing, not Yahoo or whatever. You're going to want to go to like PubMed or Google Scholar. Type in things like molecular hydrogen, if you can spell it. And then electrolyzed reduced water is actually the scientific term for this water.
Okay.
So free radicals too. Like, I don't know if you heard about free radicals. There's a whole thing on that, but it's basically we're being bombarded by toxins all the time.
Oh, okay.
And molecular hydrogen is a smart antioxidant as well. So it can help neutralize these harmful free radicals. So these harmful things coming in. There is the research. I mean, I didn't believe it until I felt it and then started diving in. And it's been life-changing for me. And so now I'm on this mission to get the word out and help as many people as I can with it.
So you were sitting in your car, you were crying, you were posting it. Is that when you made the conscious decision to sell it as well?
I was already leaning towards it
Mm-hmm.
because I was lost. Like, I was like, okay, I have this career, I have
Yeah.
these degrees, but I don't want to go back to the same thing. And that's a big part of like rehabilitation and rehab
Mm-hmm.
and sobriety is like everything needs to change, like your friends, your environment. I was like going back
Mm-hmm.
to the same job just didn't feel good. So I was already kind of leaning there. But yeah, the proof was in the pudding. I was like, okay, there's something to this. And my friend, Jilly Torres, she was really successful in it and she still is. Like, she's been doing this for 10 years now and it's healed her body. Like, she has a whole story about ovarian cysts and like her using the water to heal. And so financially, she's very well off. She's done really well. And I'm like, okay, if Jilly can do it, she actually went to Atascadero too. She's
Oh,
a
okay.
year older than me. So I've known Jilly since I was like 16. Saw this water, whatever that she was
Yeah.
doing, like, okay, what, just ignored it until I actually needed it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's unfortunately the problem. Like, I come across too, is like, okay, once you have cancer, once you have these things, then you're willing to go like the holistic route where it's like, why don't we like work preventatively? Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's get like, people are worried about like their diet and their nutrition, but a lot of times water is the last thing that they look at. And it's so crucial because
Yeah.
we are water. Like, on a molecular level, we are 99% water. Like, we are water. Why?
That's insane to think about. Like, I
Yeah.
know you can, you're
Yeah.
solid, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
It is.
growing up, you always hear that we're this much percent water and that's why we got to drink water. We even hear, 8 glasses a day
Yeah.
as a rule of thumb, but nobody really thinks about what kind of water.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of what a lot of people don't understand because I can go to the store and get Kirkland bottle of water
Yeah.
and find ones that actually do start saying things like this has been processed differently or something like that. Did you ever see any company out there? I'm not asking you to endorse, but anything like close to what this does?
So there are other water ionizers,
Yeah.
right? But like I said, we're the original one. We're the only one with these high level like certifications. We're like the Rolls Royce of water ionizers. But we can't sell this water on a bottle, like on a shelf at the store. And the reason being is because it loses its therapeutic like potency, right, over
Yeah.
time. Because it's the smallest antioxidant, it dissipates over time. So the shelf life on like this bottled water, like if I kept this closed, is about 3 days. For the I mean, the water is still going to be water,
In
but
room
it's not.
temperature?
Yeah, but it's not going to be therapeutic levels of hydrogen, which our body needs a therapeutic level of hydrogen in order to have any effect. And so that's why, like, I do offer I said this in the first round, but I do offer the
14
community.
days.
You got
Yeah.
it. Yeah, you're doing your work. Free water for 2 weeks. And so during this water share, I see you every 3 days with fresh gallons. And so the aim is to drink a gallon of this water a day. And then you let me know how it feels in your body, and we kind of go from there. I educate you, answer your questions. And so that's working well.
So you're okay. So you're doing this by yourself, the 14-day thing. It wasn't part of the company. I'm getting that because if you're saying you're going every 3 days, bringing the water, that means you're using your machine to fill up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we all have our own franchises,
Okay.
basically, like is how the business works. And so I can run my business however I want to run my business. Of course,
it.
there's compliance, can't say medical claims, there's
Yeah,
these
yeah.
things. I can't actually sell you a gallon of water, but I can gift you
Yeah.
a gallon of water for 14 days.
Yeah.
Because yeah. And so yeah, I'm doing this. It's something that our whole team as a collective recommends. It's just I'm doing it in glass. I'm doing it with guidelines. Like, if you're gonna do this water share, you don't want to be drinking alcohol.
Right.
You don't want to be drinking Gatorade. And a ton of caffeine or energy drinks because it's not going to get like the full therapeutic effect
Yeah.
that you would if you cut those things out.
Have you thought of doing that? Letting somebody do the trial without changing anything in their life, and then do it again with changing everything in their life, and be like, see,
No, but that's
like
a great idea.
get one or two, three people like to do that, and you're like, that way, you know, you take away the idea that it's a placebo effect, pretty much, right?
Yeah. That's you're very scientific minded. Yeah, you're already
I'm
doing
always
an
trial and error.
experiment.
I'm always trial and error.
Okay. No, I like that. I haven't actually thought that. And I mean, it does take energy for me to be filling up these
Yeah, that's why I'm
gallons
bringing
of
that up
water.
now.
And then I wash them and sterilize them. And then, and
Yeah.
so I just haven't.
So how many do you feel like comfortably you can help at a time?
For the water shares, I don't like to go over 4 families at a time.
Oh, families. Okay.
Yeah. So like sometimes like I have a couple right now that I'm sharing with. So that's 6 gallons every 3 days for them. Luckily, I'm on a well and I don't pay for water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's another cost that you
Yeah.
got to think about. I mean, the travel,
Yeah.
the filling. If somebody breaks a bottle for some reason,
Yeah.
I know.
Well, that's in the guidelines. If you break it, you buy it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I started implementing these guidelines after a few
found out.
months of, dealing with, a community of people.
Got it. Yeah, because I mean, I can just. I'm one of those people that like. If I can, proof is in the pudding kind of thing. That's why I put myself in the hot seat, because I want people to know that a video podcast is probably one of the best ways right now to show your message, right? Aside from being consistent on Instagram, going on TikTok, and then showing yourself to the world kind of thing. But like video podcast, everybody's listening to video podcasts right now. So I put myself in the hot seat. So what you're doing is you're doing the legwork, and you're doing all these things to like prove to them like it's worth the work, right?
Yeah.
But not everybody has, what was it, $6,000
Right.
around, but you have options.
Yeah, exactly. So we have financing. So
Yeah.
you could finance one of these systems for as low as $55 a month. So essentially you open up a line of credit. So there's like 5 different credit cards that we could walk you through and getting, or you can get one from your bank and finance for $55 a month. Or our company is really cool in the fact that they offer a down payment option. If you have bad credit, 0 credit, whatever your credit journey looks like, but they don't even check your credit at all with the down payment option. And so that comes out to about 25% of the machine, which here in California after tax and stuff is like $1,400. And then you pay $205 for 2 years. And so that's a pretty doable thing. Like I have multiple people saving because they want the water. They see the value. It's helped them. Like acid reflux is a big one that like this has been, I can't say it's heals it, but it helps with acid
helps.
reflux.
Yeah, it helps.
Migraines, I used to get migraines once a month, like no matter what. I'm a woman right around my cycle. Like I got on this water. I have not had a migraine since being on this water. Like that's huge. If you have migraines, you know how debilitating that can be. So once you see the value and once the education piece is there, the finances, like it's like we can work with you. Like we'll figure out a way to get you there.
Are there, I mean, just out of curiosity, because everybody's so normalized storefront. Is there storefronts that people can find these machines at, or is it just direct? You said direct to consumer, right?
Yeah. So I mean, some people, like I said, we all have our own franchises. So some people do go that route, like open
really?
up a storefront. I mean, I've kind of looked into it. We have water stores around here. It's like, what if we get some Coggin systems in there? But I really value traveling, and I really want to build my own family and want to be home with the kids, and what goes into me, like I'm building my business that way to allows for like the lifestyle that I want. So I don't think opening a storefront for me is there, but if I get someone on my team that's like, let's do this, I'm all for that.
Because I remember I was in high school and I was looking at places to like go to the gym, and Kennedy Club opened. It was fresh, it was a new place, And I went with my mom because I wasn't 18 yet. So we were checking it out, and I went to the front desk and was like, yeah, we're looking at potentially joining. And he's like, yeah. And he's kind of started giving me a simple layout of the place. And I look over and I saw oxygen bar. And I saw people hooked up to an oxygen bar. And I just kind of felt wrong. And I'm like,
Yeah.
nope, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. So
That's funny.
so for me, it's like, oxygen bar didn't click with me, but like a water bar.
Yeah,
That
a
kind of,
water bar. Somebody else I was talking to recently was like said that like, okay, why isn't there a water bar? Like we have alcohol bars, but how cool would that be? Like have different water. I mean, especially hydrogen rich water.
Speaking of different water, I know there's 7 types of water. Can you go through them for me? Because I want to understand like what 7 different waters
Yeah, well,
are.
should we try the water?
Oh yeah, so
first?
this one you said. Did we talk about in this part? I don't know. So this one you said it's 7 neutral.
This one's 8.5.
8.5.
So 7 is neutral.
Okay.
Yeah, but let's cheers. Here.
Oh yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. So yeah, 8.5. Do I smell it? Because the wine
It's
glass.
not like a fine
sorry.
wine, but why aren't we treating water like fine wine? Right?
That's a good question, especially when it comes to quality. Because you're talking about antioxidants, and
Yeah.
I mean, I always hear wine has antioxidants.
Yeah.
And that's good for you, but like not a whole bottle.
Right. Okay, 7 different types of water. So this is one of the buttons on the machine. It's like a touch screen. So 8.5 is like the pH of the water. And so this is the beginning. Like when I start you on a water trial, like we're going to start you at 8.5. Then it goes to 9 and then 9.5. So I'm drinking 9.5 here. And so this has the most molecular hydrogen, which I keep saying is like the secret sauce of our water. But you want your body to acclimate to the water. Okay, so that's why we start you off at 8.5, then 9, 9.5.
Well, then I gotta ask, if somebody starts at 9.5, what happens there?
So with even 8.5, you may go through a detox. For me, it lasted like 3 days. I had like a slight headache, a little upset stomach. But it really depends on your lifestyle, how healthy you are, what other things you're putting into your body. But it's just like any detox. Like, have you ever done a detox before of any sort?
The only detox I've done is, so I want to say 2014, I went on a juice diet.
Okay, yeah.
So I did 1 meal, 2 meals juiced and 1 solid meal. But the solid meal had to be like something easy I can digest because my body was already going through it. And if I had pizza when I had juice, I was just gonna destroy it, right? So maybe like a homemade sandwich just to make it easy, or a chicken, just something easier to digest. So I went through that and I lost weight, but then once I stopped, I gained the weight back up because it wasn't something I can continue doing. It was expensive to do juicing. And then in 2018, I went on the intermittent fasting and I did a lot of water all day, half my body weight, in ounces. And that helped and I felt amazing. But how much more amazing could I have felt if I had the right water, right? That's what I'm thinking every time we're talking about it.
Yeah. So when you did these detox, that you did you have any symptoms, like detox symptoms that you can remember?
Yeah. Even not drinking coffee recently and cutting out the sugar because of my tooth, I had headaches pretty much from waking up to going to sleep for the next 4 days. Yeah. Something like that. And then after that, it was all gone. I had a headache like 2 days ago, but I think that was because I didn't drink enough water to begin with.
Right.
Not the right water. Yeah, I know I'm going to keep referencing that. Not the right water. But since then, I haven't really, my body hasn't been really going like, hey, coffee first thing in the morning. It's been more of like, all right, so here's the day. Yeah. There's no sensation of headache. It's all gone. And I'm sure if I go back to coffee, I will feel like this super energy again because I didn't desensitize myself. And now I'm like, actually, like a soda. You haven't had a soda for a while. You taste it. And you're like,
I know. I don't drink soda anymore, but
Anything
I know
with
what you
bubbles.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did feel when I started, but afterwards it just depends how consistent I kept with it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just like any other
Yeah.
detox, really. Like the headache, I have like a whole detox guide that I would give you if you want to try the water.
Yeah.
Because it's really flushing out your system. You're also going to probably pee a lot more at first.
Yep.
My grandparents have a system, my dad have a system now, and that was a big complaint in the beginning as you're elderly, like, okay, I've got to get up and go to the bathroom all
Yeah.
these times, but your body acclimates to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get used to it over time.
Yeah, that's one of the things when I started drinking a lot of water is having, but I did notice when I did have a lot of water, but I was being active, my body felt like it was using more of it rather than
Like
flushing
absorbing it
through.
more. Yeah,
Instead of
that's
it, because
interesting.
I can drink water all day and sit down. Oh, I gotta pee again. Oh, I gotta pee
Yeah.
again. But if you're actually using it, you're anything you put in your body, you're gonna use.
It's fuel.
Yeah. So I think in addition to exercising, in addition to reading, in addition to, having these conversations, stimulating conversations, it's all a package deal. It's never just the one thing.
Exactly.
That's why you have those requirements. Like,
Yeah.
I need you to cut these things out.
Yeah.
But I'm still curious on what would happen
I
if somebody
know.
sticks with their regular
Hey,
diet.
okay. How about you be the test
I can't because I already
subject?
stopped.
Yeah, you
I
already
stopped
some
at a lot.
things.
I stopped at least half the things, so I'll be an imperfect one. But I can find a few people for you.
Hey, bring me some people. Let's get them on this water for sure.
That'd be kind of cool. And then we can document, and then we can sit down
Oh,
and have
then we can
another
all-
podcast.
Yeah, that'd be really great. All right,
Yeah.
we'll put it on the books for sure. I was going to say, like, with you limiting your caffeine, like, energy, like, increased energy is a huge thing that I get, like, somebody saying that when they start drinking this water, like, their energy goes up. My dad, for example, was the biggest... he did not believe in the water. When I started this whole thing, he was like, water's not going to help me. Like, you've been scammed.
Yeah.
My grandpa's also like that. It's like, you've been scammed. I'm like, okay, try the water. So I was sharing water with this man, my dad, for 2 months before I finally get a call from him. It's like midday. He's at work and he's like, what'd you put in this water? And I was like, what do you mean? What did I put in this water? He's like, I don't know. Did you put drugs or something? Like, I'm like buzzing. Like, I have so much energy. And he's like, okay, there's something to this.
Yeah.
And my dad was drinking 4 Monsters a day before getting on this water. Now he does not drink Monsters and he only drinks this water. He brings 6 like 12-ounce bottles with him to work. He's in the trades. And so he brings his little cooler. He pounds one every 2 hours, uses it like medicine, and his symptoms of all his health stuff have gotten a lot better. So it's like really cool to be able to help your family too, and that way your loved ones.
Yeah. And I think, especially those who you've always seen as the smarter, wiser.
Like, right.
But as I get older, I'm noticing that's not true.
Right.
Well,
And now he has grounding sheets. I got them, my grandparents and my dad, some grounding sheets. I don't know if you've heard about grounding.
what's grounding sheets?
Like, when you put your feet on the earth, right? Like, if you heard of like grounding in that way, they make sheets that essentially you're getting those negative ions from that. And who knows? I don't know. There's some science there though too.
Yeah.
But my dad also got a sauna now in his garage, and so
You're
sweating
hooking
it
him
all
up.
out.
Yeah.
That was all him. He's drinking the Kool-Aid, and now he's getting on board with all this stuff. And it's really cool.
Which is interesting because sauna, you're detoxing obviously, right? But you're also sweating a lot of that water, so he's kind of like filtering it through one more time.
Yeah.
That's really cool that he's doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. I know there's a lot of ideas that go through my head as we talk about. Obviously, we've already mentioned quite a few. So, what are your plans to keep promoting yourself in the water that you're drinking? How are you going to get other people? How are you going to expose yourself more? Because Instagram is good, but can only do so much unless that one video hits.
Right.
So, what are your plans? You did something at the fairgrounds, right? The event center. Do you plan on doing other things like that? Do you consider yourself like an artisan because of this water?
An artisan. Ooh, give me the definition. What do you mean by that?
So when I go downtown, like farmers market, every single vendor, they sell their own stuff. They're small. There's nothing big corporate. I've heard it multiple times. That's why I'm thinking it's artisan. Is you have your own product to let people try and stuff like that.
That's definitely part of it. Like I actually love doing events and like offering free water for the event. So like if you know of any events coming up, and I'll be like, I will provide you free water for this event, and I'll put up my table.
So you're okay. So if anybody's hearing this, so like Paso Robles Main Street Association, the Hispanic Business Association, the Paso Templeton Chamber. If you guys have any events, and you want some high quality water,
exactly.
Head of Jennifer.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Figure. And, you know, I think. I mean, it's cool if you're. I mean, obviously you'll have business cards and, you know.
Yeah, I know I have like a whole table. Like it's actually on my stories right now from last St. Patrick's Day. I had a table at the home show here in Paso. So I love doing that. I also started, I think in November, doing live demonstrations. So our next one is next Tuesday. So a week from today, where I get a group of people together and I do like a 30-minute presentation, and I show you the machine. I show you different things with the water. Like there's scientific tests that I can do. I have this little meter called an ORP meter, these drops that show you the difference with sports drinks and sodas, and then like my water and how alkaline it is. And so I do those too, trying to do one of those a month. And like you said, Instagram, meeting people. Like I love networking. I love meeting people. I try to go to meetup groups or like wherever I can like get to have a group of people or somebody to be open-minded and listen and actually take the time to kind of dive in and help see the value of what we have here.
Yeah, with Paso being so water conscious, how do you maneuver through that? Because that's more water going through the city or through your house, right? So how do you talk to them about that? Because one, they're buying water bottles at the store and then bring them in. You I know you had a number that you were trying to explain earlier. Is I think you started like fun fact about the water bottles, how much you drink.
Okay, yeah. So
the comparison between having the system and buying water bottles.
Yeah. So when we talk about water bottles, so I'll just start from the little beginning here, is that it's full of microplastics. Microplastics are known carcinogens, right? We're like, you don't know how long that water has been sitting in that water bottle. Like a lot of the water is like 2 years old and it's been heated and cooled and heated and cooled, plastic coming in. And so it's really bad for you. And they've done studies, and it's actually, this is the number I said earlier, but 65% of the bottled water that you're drinking is actually just tap water. And so it's a big scam, essentially. It's super expensive. So I have a chart, that says, okay, you buy the system. Yeah, it's $6,000. After 15 years, it ends up being like $8,000 or something with water cost, with changing a filter once a year. With a water bottle, it depends on the brand, but it could be anywhere from $40,000 to $80,000.
Oh, wow.
And because people don't want to actually do the research, they're willing to just keep paying these big plastic water bottle companies because they're not taking the time to research for their families. And as you can see, I get worked up.
And we can ask this question again. Do you find yourself frustrated that people don't truly understand the water quality?
And then that's where it's humbling because I'm like, I just need to get better at my job. Like that's where I like take an inner look and okay, I need to get better at sales. And people have such a big guard up with salespeople, and I just connecting with people, finding what do they value? Like, do they value health? Like maybe some people don't value health. Then I'm definitely barking up the wrong tree, Okay, how do you value money? Like, or do you value, having a bright future, like where you don't need to worry about money because that's a big stress. Okay, then,
Yeah. So what are some of the things that you find that people ask you when when you're talking to them about this? Let's say, hey, you want to try the 14-day trial or not? Whatever that. But what do you find the most common question is? Aside from your dad and grandpa going, this is all a hoax.
Yeah, my dad's like, it's snake oil.
Yeah.
I do get that one quite
really?
a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's just a lot of people don't know about this water. Only 1% of the population actually know about it. And so it's just not in our society. It's not in our healthcare system because big pharma is just at the root of all of that.
Yeah.
I would say the costs, like people want to know immediately how much it is. You tell them how much it is and then they write it off. Like I could never afford that.
Yeah.
Like when I started this, I didn't think I could afford it, but I needed it for my health, So it just depends on how much you value it, I guess. So there's like the cost, but it lasts for 35 years. What else do people ask me?
Doesn't come in black. I don't know. Like I'm just trying to think of.
It does not.
Okay.
It is. It's a white water ionizer. Okay. My funny story though, my grandparents and my dad, they did not like the look of the thing. Like my dad's wife was like, "That thing's ugly. I do not want that on my counter." And so there was a way to put it under the counter with like a special ionized faucet. So kind of like a drinking faucet like you would, on the side of your sink, but it has two spouts because like we talked about, there's the drinking hose and then the acidic hose.
Acidic,
yeah. No. And I think we were getting into the water types, and I've told you almost all of them.
Almost all of them. The lower it goes, what does that do?
Yeah, so the pH scale 0 to 14, 7 being neutral. Yeah. So there's a button that's 2.5. That I don't know if I said this in the first one or this one, but
I want to say the first one, but if you did say it again, hey, you guys.
Hey, now you're gonna get educated.
That's how commercials work, though. I have a structural settlement, but I need cash. It's repetitive.
Now it's gonna be stuck in my head. The 2.5 is also known as hypochlorous acid. They sell it in dentist offices. That's when we got into your tooth for like $40 a jug, but it kills 99.9% of bacteria.
Okay.
So basically you have non-toxic cleaner in your home. Like I only clean with this, like my kitchen counters, my bathroom, because it kills all the germs and it's not toxic. So on the opposite spectrum of that, there's a button. When you press 2.5, right, there's water coming out of the bottom hose and there's water coming out of the top. And so I'm gonna give you some math here.
Okay, what is
14 minus 2.5?
14 minus 2.5 will make 11.5.
You got it. Okay. So that's going to be what's coming out of the top hose, like when you push 2.5. And 11.5 is really alkaline. And so it's an oil emulsifier. So normally, like oil and water don't mix. With the 11.5 and oil, it starts emulsifying the oil. And so if you have like an oil spill in your kitchen, it actually breaks down oil. You can also put it in your washer, and I use it in like just a little bit of detergent because I need my laundry to smell good. Yeah. But it breaks down all the oils and things in your clothes. And so it's like a cleaner for oil-based stains and things like that.
Interesting. Yeah, because recently we've had a few oil stains on our shirts at home, and it's there, so we think we're splashing, but we're not because it's just an oil stain. But
and so you can clean your produce with this. So most of the time, people use tap water to clean their produce. Well, we know now that tap water is really bad, and then we know that pesticides are oil-based because farmers make them oil-based because they don't want the pesticides to not be on the vegetable or the fruit, because when it rains, it will, it'll wash it away. And so the 11.5, I soak my fruits and vegetables in it for like a minute, and you actually can pour it out into like a glass, a bowl, and you can see the difference compared to like tap water. Yeah,
because I've seen that TikTok video where somebody has a thing of broccoli, and the water's just kind of sliding right off of it.
Yeah. I mean, for peace of mind, people are like, I rinsed it, but it's like...
I mean, we rinse it as best we can, like the bananas, the apples, the carrot, all that stuff. And then it's funny, it's like, because we've been doing a lot more of that, especially to like promote it for the kids so they can eat it. Because, we have they'll copy what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
So if we're drinking a soda, they're gonna want a soda. If eating an apple, they're gonna want to eat an apple, and to the point where like you can't even eat an apple anymore because now they just want it off your hand. But I did notice like when we wash vegetables and fruits and vegetables, if they're left out for a little bit, you can start seeing them change a little bit, like getting like a dry skin almost.
Yeah, like oxidizing.
Right? Yeah.
So that's like where the antioxidant thing comes in, right? Like you see when an apple is turning brown, that's oxidizing.
Yeah.
Oxidization is happening. So you want things that do the opposite of that. An antioxidant. Our water is full of antioxidants. So yep, and you can wash all your fruits and vegetables with it, and like you said, it will actually help them live longer. If you will.
Yeah. I'm guessing they would live a
Like
little
stay
longer.
fresher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's things we like everyday things we do that affect our food or affect our well-being, and so I mean this is kind of cool to learn about this stuff because now. I'm looking at the water bottle a lot different, which I always have. It's one of those things that's so easy. Just like you want a water bottle, you want a water bottle.
Yeah.
And then we talked about
too.
convenience, and I think that's one of the things where like quality over convenience. Like there's this, I think weird shift that's happening now is like quality is making a comeback.
Yeah.
I think with anything you do, and convenience just kind of seems like. I mean, you see it on the news. They're changing the size. They're changing the style of what it looks like and then charging the same amount for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You can taste or feel the difference. Gatorade is a big part of it. When you open a bag of Lay's, like most of it is air. I mean, all these little things that pop in. But the water, I told my wife I was going to ask this and I feel silly. The movie Waterboy.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have.
How much of it is like good information? How much of it is bad information? He's like, ooh, quality H2O.
Honestly, okay, you're probably the 10th person in the last 2 years to bring this up. Yeah. And I have not watched it since starting my water business.
Okay.
So I need to do some homework, it sounds like, on Go Watch Waterboy.
So I think you should do like a Twitch or Twitch style where you watch it and like are commenting on it.
Oh, like on TikTok, you mean?
Yeah. When you're watching the show or movie and you're making comments on.
Okay, yeah, I feel like you have all these creative ideas on how to do my business. Like,
I'll never do it though. I'll never do it. I can. I'm one of those like I'm an idea guy.
Creative,
that's it.
Though creative, yeah.
No, I feel like I'm an idea. Even when I'm talking to Dave and we're talking about things, I told him straight up, I was like, dude, I'm picking your brain because you naturally slipped into that. You do Affleck, and you naturally made all these things. And that's what I kind of want to learn is I want to naturally have these conversations with people without making them feel like a salesman.
Yeah, you're doing great.
No, I appreciate it. I'm going to put that on replay over and over again.
You're doing, Jenny
You're
approved.
doing great. So what other things do you want the people to know about the machine, the business, the water bottle? Obviously, it's changed your lives, and you're on the road to change other people's lives. What are people missing? Because even right now, there's probably somebody still going.
I don't get it. Yeah, yeah. I think that we are water, right? We talked about that, and it's often the thing that people are overlooking. And so I think that being your own advocate, doing your own research, actually looking at what you're drinking, what you're spending your money on, and think about this like as an option. You can actually save a lot of money with the system over time. Like I said, you can replace household cleaners and, actually have a good vegetable wash for your veggies. And so there's all these things. It's also part of the bigger lifestyle change that we've talked about. I'm always open to like talking things through with people, meeting new people. So like if somebody has a question, I'm really accessible on Jennifer Hale 20. I can get into that real quick too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jennifer Hale 20. So, H2O, Hale 20. It's my last name. And then the second better version of myself. So like 2.0, like version 2.0. So that's where it came from with like my sobriety journey, with this health journey, with also my grief journey with losing my mom and my brother. So there is a business, right, too, like, but don't get turned off by the fact that there is a business if you choose, because it could just be you want this water. And that is awesome. Like, I want to help people get the water. And then those that are entrepreneurial minded, I want to speak to those people too. And if they see something here and like could see me as a partner, then like, let's talk too. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that was short and simple. Yeah, that's all the questions I have. I asked my dumb question of Water Boy, and I'm looking forward to working more with you. I know we're going to talk about other things off camera because it's kind of cool.
For sure.
So when if people want to bring you to an event, just to clarify it in my head too, you can't charge. You can't charge to give people water. You can you just gift them. They can buy the machine.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can't give. Oh, here's a bottle.
Yeah, I can't sell the water.
So not artisan, but more of a free service.
Yeah,
if that's what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. All right, cool. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer. I appreciate your time, and thank you for sticking in with me for 2 parts.
Oh yeah.
I might
Hopefully the second one was better then.
No, they were both great, equally.
Okay.
But
thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
Really appreciate it.
Thank you for being here.